All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something huge, a really fundamental shift in how our whole world works. And look, this isn't just about some fancy new tools. We're talking about a brand new kind of worker, an AI worker. And it's building an entirely new labor market as we speak.
For decades, we thought of software as a tool, right? Something to help us do our jobs, like a spreadsheet or Photoshop. But we've hit this massive inflection point. The software isn't just the helper anymore. In a growing number of cases, the software is the worker. It's doing the whole job from A to Z. And that changes absolutely everything.
So, what's the big idea we're talking about? It's pretty simple, really. We are literally watching two giant, totally separate markets smash together. The market for human labor and the market for software. Okay, to really wrap your head around this, you've got to take a concept we all know and just flip it upside down. We all know SaaS, right? Software as a service. Well, get ready for SaaS, service as a software. The service itself, the actual work being done, it's not just helped by the software anymore. The work is the software.
And if you're wondering just how big of a deal this is, just follow the money. It's staggering. In the US alone, businesses spend over that's trillion with a T, dollars on knowledge workers every year. The whole B2B software market, it's just a tiny fraction of that. So when these two markets collide, the new market that's created, it's not just some small evolution. It absolutely dwarfs the software industry as we've ever known it.
But look, the real rocket fuel behind this whole thing isn't just the sheer size of the market. It's the profit. Think about it. A regular human-run service business, you're lucky if you're pulling in 30% margins. But when you swap that out for an AI service, whoosh, the margins can skyrocket to over 80%. We're talking pure software-level profits. That kind of financial incentive, it's basically an unstoppable force.
Okay, so what does this new AI workforce actually look like, in the real world? Well, right now, it's popping up in two main ways. First up, you've got what you could call AI colleagues. These are basically AI agents that are built to slide right into an existing job description inside a company. Yep, we're talking about your new digital coworkers. And listen, this is not science fiction. This is happening now. You've probably heard of Devin, the AI software engineer that can just take a task and code the whole thing. Or in the legal field, there's AI that can draft these super complex demand letters that used to take a lawyer hours and hours. They're already here in sales and healthcare, you name it. But what happens when you think bigger than just one employee? Well, that brings us to the second approach, the AI vendor. These guys don't just fill a single role. Oh no. They're designed to replace an entire external company that you'd normally hire. We're talking about your accounting firm, your marketing agency, the whole shebang. You can think of this as business process outsourcing, BPO, but on steroids, totally supercharged by AI. This is going to shake up everything from customer service and HR to finance and legal. The takeaway here is super simple. If your company hires an outside firm to do a job, an AI vendor is coming for that business, period. All right, so the opportunity is clearly massive. But with a tidal wave this big, the question is, where do you even begin? Where are the real hotspots? Where are these AI workers going to show up and dominate first? The key isn't to look for places where AI is just, a little bit better. That's not the game. You've got to hunt for the spots where the AI is 100 times better. The places where the decision to hire an AI instead of a person is an absolute no-brainer. And finding those 100x opportunities really comes down to a simple two-part formula. First, you find where AI just flat out excels over a human. And second, you find where it adds totally new value, stuff that humans just can't do. So, where does AI really shine? Just look for the corporate pain points. We're talking mind-numbingly repetitive tasks, jobs that are super expensive to hire for, or roles where people are constantly quitting. Think data entry, basic customer service calls, sifting through legal documents. This is the absolute low-hanging fruit, ripe for the picking. But again, it's not just about doing human jobs cheaper. It's about doing things humans literally cannot do.
An AI can give a deeply personalized experience to millions of customers at the exact same time. It works 24/7, never gets tired, never needs a coffee break, and it does the job with perfect consistency every single time. That's when AI stops being just a replacement and becomes a true superpower.
Now, whenever there's a huge tech shift like this, you'd think the big established companies, the incumbents, have all the advantages, right? But here's the thing. In this new era of the AI workforce, there are some really clear reasons why startups are actually in the perfect position to win. In fact, startups have 3 massive advantages right out of the gate.
Okay, so number 1, they can specialize like crazy. Number 2, they aren't chained to old conflicting business models. And 3, they actually have a faster path to landing those big enterprise deals. Let's really dig into that second one for a second, the business model conflict.
This is the classic innovator's dilemma. I mean, think about a traditional law firm. Their whole model is based on the billable hour. So why on earth would they embrace an AI that could do 10 hours of work in 10 minutes? It would kill their revenue. They're actually paid not to be efficient. And that creates this massive, wide open door for a startup to waltz in with a totally new flat fee model and just eat their lunch.
So, looking down the road a bit, the final piece of this puzzle, this fusion of labor and software, goes way beyond just speed and efficiency. For AI to truly fully replace our most complex services, it's gonna have to evolve. Just think for a second about the best service experience you've ever had. I bet it wasn't just fast, was it? It was delightful. You felt like they actually got you. For software to really take over these kinds of roles, it has to clear that same bar. It needs to be more than just a faceless, efficient robot.
And that means the next wave of these AI workers will need a dose of emotional intelligence. They'll need to understand subtlety, nuance, our feelings. And for really important fields like education, therapy, or healthcare, this isn't some nice-to-have feature. It's everything. A sense of empathy is going to be totally non-negotiable.
Look, this total fusion of work and software, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And it leaves us with a pretty deep question to chew on. If our software can develop a soul, what does that mean for what it means to be human at work?